And so it is political season, and so we are not surprised at the things that we see. Over the weekend, it was primaries here and there, and of course, we expect another primaries election today for the ADC. Over the weekend, also, we saw videos of some persons in Kano tearing down on a big billboard because, according to that video and interpretations, a particular candidate's face was being torn out because a few of the candidates hasn't been performing, and unfortunately the candidate also clinched 10.9 million votes, as much as that primary election that produced the candidate for the APC presidential election 2027 is one that has been riddled with a lot of controversies from different quarters. I mean, I saw some videos where the same irregularities that we cited in the previous primaries that happened last week happened, where you count 54 and then you count 80, 120, and, you know, funny countings like that. But it is what it is. It was a direct primaries for the APC over the weekend, by the way. And also, we saw a video of a man, or some person said two men, also being beaten in a market in Kano because they allegedly, the video didn't have any audio, so I cannot ascertain certainly what happened there, but they were allegedly campaigning in the marketplace, and angry traders turned on them, and it became a very sorry situation. I even saw some persons wielding weapons, I mean planks, not like guns and all of that. But the question at this point is, how do we fix Nigeria beyond all of these shenanigans? Politicians versus Nigerians. Over the weekend also, APGA had their primary elections, and that was not any different from what we've seen from the other political parties. Good morning to you and welcome. This is the Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. I am Chisom Chinedu, Franklin Ebuka. Good morning.
Good morning, Chisom. Good morning to our dear listener. At this point, maybe ask, or maybe I should say it's a time that we get to go and beg our politicians and ask them what they actually want. Because when we are doing indirect system of election or primary election, we thought that was the problem. And the National Assembly went on to amend the Electoral Act and have us restricted to only two systems. That is the consensus system and the direct system. And people were thinking that when people or when members of the party become involved in choosing who becomes the candidate for the party, that is going to entrench internal democracy. But what we have seen so far leaves so much to be talked about. We saw APC's direct primary election. It was a shamble. We now saw the one APGA conducted over the weekend. That was on Saturday. The same story of, it wasn't quite different from what we saw from the APC. The only difference is that we have not seen a situation whereby somebody counted in error, but the same story of people forcing to withdraw, intimidation, assault, people using security operatives for them to intimidate the opponent, result being manipulated. You see the same old story, and I'm asking myself, what can be done? What is that thing that can be done to help salvage our political system? Because it seems like now so what can we now do to salvage our politics? Is it that our politicians are irredeemable, or that they are not ready to have this discussion about what kind of democracy we're practicing? Because for me, if somebody says that what we are practicing in Nigeria is benevolent autocracy, the person might not be wrong. Let me rest my case like this.
All right, then. Dr. Tony Olitsambeki is here. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Chisom. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, in Anambra. Good morning, in Donicha. Good morning, the Osumo. Good morning, the Olwaka, the Nkuzin, the Oloibo traders, even the commuters. Good morning, everyone under the reach of our voice. Good morning, the Obodo. Those that feel that they are the owners of the land, the youths, those that once you start development at any site, they will just storm there in a way that will even surprise you. They will identify themselves as Ndobodo. Well, it's another beautiful day, and today is another day to talk about politics. Weekend was everything proposed it to be, and then just like we always say, congratulations to Arsenal for lifting the trophy the way everybody had expected. Beyond that, they have a tax this coming Saturday. Today is 25th of May in the year 2026, and we are back in the sanctuary. We are back in the altar of the Most High to profess the truth, to proclaim the truth, to say everything the way it may not please you, but most importantly to ensure balance, to ensure fairness, and to ensure responsibility and neutrality. You are welcome. It's another beautiful Monday morning. We saw primaries across different political parties, and the results, and then the mood within the polity and everything about what happened. Well, yesterday was Pentecost Sunday, and we know the Pentecost, what it is, where the Holy Spirit has taken over, has taken control in this work, and then we feel the impact of the Pentecost also here. You're welcome. Just sit back and enjoy the program. We thank God for His mercy, for His love, for making us to be alive, the miracle of waking up every morning. We are grateful. Just sit back and enjoy the program.
All right, then we're going to tell you what the front pages of the papers say. Right after that, we dive into the conversation proper. Unfortunately, there were a lot of editorials on the cover pages, but taking a look into the papers, these are some of the stories you'd find. On the Nation newspaper, 10 EPL highest goal scorers for 2025-26 season. Atiku Amechi Hayatu Dean face off as ADC holds presidential primary Monday, that's today. Stanley concedes pledges support for Tinubu. ADC faction adopts Kachuku as presidential candidate. Rangers clinch historic 9th NPFL title after dramatic final day victory. Danladi appreciates Tinubu Abdurazak after emergence as Kwara APC Gaba candidate. EPL Arsenal celebrate title in style with win against Crystal Palace. Adebutu clinches Ogun PDP governorship ticket. Amoteku arrests 98 suspects in Ondo and covers fake lunatic and kidnap robbery operations. CSOs hail Tinubu over Ambassador Array's US posting. EPL West Ham relegates from Premier League after 14-year stay. Please take over Enugu PDP Secretariat about ahead of governorship primaries. Wifu hails Tinubu's emergence as APC presidential candidate. CBN warns against return to intervention policies. Southwest ADC bloc endorses Hayatuddin ahead of primary. Please reject 500 million naira bribe. Seize 7.8 billion naira. Illicit drugs worth 7.8 billion in Lagos. Tinubu's victory indicates confidence by Nigerians, as Reps Deputy Speaker. And there are a lot more stories here. Please take over Enugu PDP Secretariat ahead of governorship election. And, okay. Southwest Bloc endorses a Hayatuddin ahead of primary. And Tinubu secures 10.99 million votes to clinch APC 2027 presidential ticket. We won't allow opposition with no alternative vision to drag Nigeria back, Tinubu declares. Ebola, NCDC places Nigeria on high alert, activates emergency response system.
Okay, so let's go over to Punch newspaper. We're going to pick up a couple of headlines. This one says 2027 race, ADC picks Tinubu's challenger today. Coup trial, detained officers' wives won against convictions without evidence. PDP governorship primaries, Adebutu Lamido, Andoka emerge. Troops rescue 92 civilians, destroy IEDs in Borno. This one says Nigeria braces for possible Ebola outbreak, says NCDC. APC primaries, Tinubu polls 10.9 million votes to clinch presidential ticket. Sarah presses FG over $460 million CCTV project beneficiaries. 2027 ADC affirms Malami KB governorship candidates. This one says Rivers NDC governorship aspirant rejects Fubara placeholder claim. And a few other headlines we're going to take from here. I will personally fund new ecumenical center in Omahia, says OT. And Osifo accepts APC primary defeat, pledges support for Tinubu. If you lost sleep, wait, I have lost some too. Tinubu admits hardship. Ambassador to US Array meets Trump, presents credentials. Shetima reaffirms Nigeria ties, calls for deeper regional cooperation.
All right, then let's go over to the next paper on our table and taking a look at the front page of Vanguard. Some of the stories here, like I said, a lot of advertorials. But on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, you'd find 2027 31 APC governors endorsed Tinubu with 10.99 million votes. On page 5, the rider is we won't allow opposition with no clear vision to take Nigeria backward. That's from the president. Absence of insurance cover for airport exposes FG to losses, compensation claims on page 11. Nigeria at high risk of Ebola virus importation, NCDC warns. That's on page 8. And the rest is an advertorial that Antita Security Services making a toast to President Tinubu as he emerges the APC candidate for 2027 presidentials. Also, if you look into the Vanguard newspaper, you'd see this: like you have lost sleep, wait over economic reforms, Tinubu tells Nigerians. 2027. Benue PDP affirms Awondoaka's governorship candidacy. Navy vows tech-driven, resilient defense of maritime assets, infrastructure. God knows better. Osifo accepts APC primary defeat. Tinubu accepts APC's 2027 ticket, admits economic struggles. 2027, Benue PDP, okay. Environmental crackdown. Lagos impounds 5 million naira worth of banned styrofoam. Enugu Rangers crown champions of MPFL for record 9th time. Guardiola says goodbye to Man City in final game against Aston Villa. And finally, on sports EPL, West Ham relegated from Tottenham's survive.
Okay, so on the Daily Sun, the first story here says 2027, Tinubu clinches APC presidential ticket with 10.99 million votes. Kwara church vigil attack leaves 3 dead, 15 abducted. Tinubu APC primaries, proof of internal democracy. And this one says White House, gunman killed after shooter scare. APC primaries, Kanu's uncommon peace gestures. That story here says Navy chief attributes service successes to divine grace. This one says Tinubu admits pains of reforms, says he lost sleep weight. PFN to FG, rising terror pushing Nigerians to the edge. Shetima urges deeper Nigeria ties at Wadagni inauguration. APC, or rather ADC, adopts Atiku as sole presidential candidate in Sokoto. And this one says Ihanacho inspires ethics to Scottish double. And with that, we conclude the headlines we have on the in whether the front page or inside page of the papers this very morning.
All right, then, and just to let you know that we are live on Facebook. It's Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Drop your comment right under the video of the show. And we are starting off with Anambra State. Of course, APGA had primaries yesterday, and according to reports, I take this report from the Punch newspaper. The All Progressives Grant Alliance, that's APGA, ordered the mandatory use of video documentation for the parties ongoing the party's primary elections across the state to ensure transparency and credibility. According to reports, Tony, this was done in line of providing comprehensive video evidence from wards that would serve as mandatory condition for the acceptance and validation of election results. This was also made known in a public announcement signed by APGA's National Publicity Secretary, Ejimofo Para, on Saturday. Of course, he said the measure was aimed at ensuring transparency, accountability, and credibility in the conduct of the exercise. So, Tony, I'd like to first start. Did you observe the primaries? Because I know Ben was in the field on Saturday and he did some observation and all of that. Did you observe the primaries for yourself?
I did not, because I was here on Saturday, and probably there is no need for me because of my grants and my ears on grant. So I did not observe the primary, but I listened to comments, I listened to those who observed the primaries, I saw videos, I saw one thing or the other. For me, the primary has come and gone, and what we witnessed was more like a consensus arrangement in some places. Believe it or not, the primaries were, for me, more like what do you call formality, because there have been communications from the party hierarchy about those the party would wish to fly the party's flag, and the reasons stated, and also appeal to other contestants to see reason why it should be that way. And there are contestants that said no, we are going to go to the field, and those who said no, that they will have to go to the field and then show their mettle, they were allowed to do so. And at the field, probably the party supremacy also befell on those people. Remember, APGA is more like a movement, and once there is directives, this is where we are going. Once party members are directed on what to do, they follow it religiously. A single call from party hierarchy that this is the candidate or this is the aspirant the party would wish to be the candidate. This will be communicated to party ESCOs at the state level, the local government level, the ward level. The people at the ward level will communicate it to members of the party at that level, that we have this communication, this is where we are heading to, this is where we are going. No matter what you may think otherwise, you cannot break that share, you cannot break that movement. Is one party that believes so much in loyalty, unbreakable loyalty. Once it has been stated that this is where we are going, no matter what, they will head in that direction. They will head in that, move. But the point is that primaries are seen on the field. Even before going into that primary, there were those that were communicated that this is the person the party may be looking at as a way to arrive at consensus. Because for you to have consensus, it begins with the party hierarchy saying this is where we are heading. But the aspirant, just like we have under section 84 of the Electoral Act, can opt to say no, because the consensus arrangement can be verbal, can be written. The law says it would be the consent of all the aspirants. But the idea of consent may not make any meaning if the person agrees and say, okay, you know what, I'm stepping down. If someone says I'm stepping down, I'm withdrawing, what's the idea of the consent again? The idea is, if you say no, that you are not in any way in for this consensus arrangement, the party members will be told this is where we are heading towards, and they will go there at the field and display that. You see why they chant party is supreme. That's the only thing you hear. Party is the supreme. It's the slogan, it's the language. It happened in APC. It happened across different political divides. It happened in APGA. It happens across different states. So that's what we had on Saturday.
So can we call this practice of prevailing on aspirant for them to withdraw from primaries? Can we call that democracy at play, where party decides on a dimension to go? Then people have joined the contest. Probably they were cleared, but at the 11th hour, party prevails on them to withdraw, and they withdraw. Can we call that democracy? Is it internal democracy playing out? Because how do we sequence this? And having in mind that when APGA had its zonal stakeholders meeting in Oka, on that platform, the party reeled out what it believes is a plan to reform, a plan to be different from other parties. At the end of the day, we watch what happened on Saturday, where we saw hue and cries here and there. Some persons alleged intimidation. Then, for the fact that the governor himself sometimes said that the issue of conclave is gone, everybody should go to the field and test their popularity. At the end of the day, people were still prevalent for them to withdraw. Can we call this democracy?
Well, for me, democracy is government of consensus. Democracy is the government of representation. Democracy is government of numbers. Democracy is the government of agreements. These are different ways you can define democracy. Government of agreements, government of consensus, government of numbers, government of equal representation. These are ways you can define democracy. Why is it agreement? You don't take it by force. You appeal to the other person to see reason with you that this should be the case, and the person agrees. That's democracy. Even though he may not have agreed for some reasons, but you're able to prevail. That is lobbying. Democracy is also government of lobby. You lobby somebody to support their cause and drop his own cause. In as much you don't do it with impunity, arrogance, rudeness, imposition. If you don't do it that way, but you're able to prevail on the person, talk to the person, make the person see reasons with you, and at the end of the day, the person say, you know what? Okay, go on. It's just like the marriage between a man and a woman. Even in a house, there are times a woman would want this done. There are times a man would want this done. But once they're able to agree, one drops his own, or the man may even invoke the authority that I'm the head of the family. And once he invoked that, the woman, okay, I give it to you. Okay, take, ahead. That is where the party may invoke authority by directing other members of the party. This is where we are heading to. These are ways, this seat, there are times if you go to the field, when the voting will begin, it's a game of number. The person that has the highest number becomes the winner.
All right, Tony, let's talk about the controversies that trailed that primary election. Okay. Videos emerged. Frank, was it Dunukofia?
Yes, that was Dunukofia.
We saw videos of a brawl, that alleged intimidation using Udogachi. Agune Chamber now. Agune Chamber officials. Also, there was another video that emerged alleging that the deputy governor was also involved in some sort of, I call it, what of a better word, chancing now. I'd like to know what you think of it. I'm pretty sure you saw those videos.
Well, you are pretty sure. I didn't see any video.
Okay, I want to assume.
I didn't see any video.
Okay.
Because for me, the weekend was for something else, not for
internal
party imbroglio. But nevertheless, let me talk about the videos you are talking about. For the one of the deputy governor, I wouldn't know what was the content, what was it for. So I wouldn't comment on something I don't know the way and manner it originated. And for that of Dunukofia, I spotted somewhere on Facebook where I think the party chairman of that very local government was actually accusing the local government mayor.
Yes.
If I'm correct. But I didn't take time to listen to the accusation. But I heard where he was saying something about intimidation, this and that. For me, if the local government chairman of the party is at crossroad with the local government chairman, that is the mayor, it means it's a case where water don't pass Gary. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Because in this case, the local government chairman is trying to say and maintain that he is the leader of the party. And then both of them are leaders of the party at that local government. But when it comes to party affairs, it is totally under the jurisdiction of the local government party chairman. When it comes to governance affairs, it is totally under the jurisdiction of the mayor. But both of them are members of the party and they are leaders in their own rights. Where they have disagreement, and one resorted to using executive power, which some local governments have been seen displaying, using Agune Chamber to intimidate the party chairman over a particular issue. The party chairman feels that this is purely party affairs. And when it comes to party affairs, I superintend. When it comes to governance affairs, you superintend. But both of us can work together. Probably they have different candidates or different aspirants. Let me put it this way. They have two aspirants, both of them are backing. One is backing this, one is backing that. But the party chairman probably communicated to the local government chairman that this is the direction the party is towing. And maybe the local government chairman, being close to the other aspirant, says, no, you can't tell me this. The party will not tow in that angle. And you know what? The party chairman will try to, because he is the leader of the party at that level, call the ward chairman and put it to them that this is the direction, communicate this thing, trickle it down. The party mayor, the mayor may feel that I have the money, I have the power, let me use Agone Chamber. That's the only thing he can resort to, trying to distort or maybe disorganize the plan. For me, that could be what happened, because I have not listened to the accusations and the counter accusations, but it's a case where both of them, we are supporting two different aspirants. Probably the one coming from the party local government chairman may have come from the party hierarchy, because his duty is to communicate at that level and to the ward level the direction the party is taking. Maybe the local government chairman may not in any way be in sync with that. And the local government chairman for that government, I think it's Ononiba, right?
Yes, Ononiba, yes.
And he's one of those who are returning. He's one of the local government chairmen who are coming back, and we know very well he's also close to Atezenu. Oh, I'm aware. The point I'm trying to make is this could be what happens. It's not about disagreement, but at the end of the day, there must be agreement. But it is not actually good in the eyes of the public, because the party should be seen working together. This exactly what could have happened.
Okay, so Tony, the worry about what we have seen so far in the name of primaries is the fact that we are adopting a system that gave us what has been considered as the freest election ever had in Nigeria. That was in 1993. Anytime anybody talk about democracy in Nigeria, the person references that 1993 election, which was conducted by Professor Humphrey Nwosu, where it was just to key behind whoever you were voting for, and it was so easy to determine the result. There was no contest about it. In 2026, we are adopting that same system for primary election, and guess what we are having? We are having contestation over the process and over the result, where two different results will come out from the same polling unit in an election where people just stood behind people and they were counted. And you're asking yourself, where are we headed? Now, party gave a directive that if you are conducting the primary election, you should make a video. With that video evidence, no result is going to be entertained. But guess what? These things were flouted in different places. Now, I'm not trying to wonder what could not be the way forward. If we have tested indirect system of primary, it didn't work for us. We have tested consensus, it's creating problem, and now we had direct system, it's also creating problem. So what would now be the future? Because with the way the APC has gone, the way APGA primaries have gone, using option A for primary system of primary election, this direct system primary, can it still be considered as the best method available to Nigeria to elect party flag bearers? Or perhaps the best thing for Nigeria could have been that secret ballot system that people have been seen as a harbinger of bad news. That's number one. Then number two is, if party has interest in certain persons, perhaps party wants to reward people who have been loyal party members, why allow the contest? Why say it's open to everybody? Why throw it open? People go to declare their aspiration, go for screening, they are screened, they are certified, they go ahead to purchase nomination form, they spend money going to wards to talk to people, hoping that there will be a contest. And at the 11th hour, they were prevailed upon for them to withdraw. And we call it politics, we call it democracy. Some of them who withdraw, if you speak to them, you might see agony, you might see anguish, but because maybe number one person has spoken and maybe promises is made, they might say, okay, let me just withdraw in the interest of peace now. So why is it not possible to make this thing open and be an issue? If you have an interest to protect, or if the party has some persons in mind, why don't party go ahead and select, other than this sham we do conduct in the name of primary elections?
Well, when the Supreme Court says the issue of nomination is strictly internal political party affairs, why that statement? And of course, if you go to section 83 of the Constitution, the issue of party being independent or thereabouts in their affairs is also guaranteed. Why is it so? Is because they want political parties to have this autonomy and also build themselves. I understand their concern. Why would the party say this and end up doing this? Why would I say that it is free? It is going to be open conduct. At the end of the day, there are those you have in mind. I've been able to engage some political party leaders. You know what they told me? There are candidates. There are candidates that once they use the platform to become who they are, they will defect. They will leave the party. That if you want it that way, the members of the National Assembly should lock issue of defection. Once that is locked, parties will be very free to organize the kind of primaries where it's going to be secret ballots, where they will be sure that anybody that wins under our platform will not leave that platform. Parties, I have looked around, they say that why they most time have some people in mind is because these are people they believe will not defect, but they may defect later on. But I think based on what they have seen about the person, that anybody who is known or who is in the habit of winning through this, and once there is internal disagreement of a political party, he leaves that platform. What it means that it has cost the party. The party makes nothing.
So why can't the party devise a way to screen them out?
No.
Them allowing them to join the contest, and at the end of the day, they still put them at disadvantage during the primary.
Now, there were parties that screened them out. APC used that very format. And there are other parties that use that very format. But there are parties that will also allow you to be in the context. But direct party members follow this way. And for me, the issue of screening out and screening in, we talked about it last week. And I said, it is one of the amendments we'll be looking up to. The National Assembly should put out criteria. You don't screen somebody out for not having birth certificate, for not clearing his tax last month. If this should be criteria, state it out in the law. So anybody coming forward will know verily that it is this way. These are the criteria. Having said that, then on the other side, where party will allow you to be in the context and direct party members go this way. For me, it is that advanced level, or maybe not advanced, it could be less advanced level of consensus. Less advanced. The advanced level of consensus where the candidate will be told critically that support this person. That would want you to support candidate C. Being he's formidable, you roll out his capacities, you roll out what he has done in the past, what he has done for the party, then the candidate A or B will say, we will not allow, we will not agree. The law says, if that be the case, all of you should go to the field. But going to the field, the party would still use the other way of directing party members, go for candidate C. Because he has been with us, he has given us this, he has shown consistency, he has shown loyalty to the party. He has been this to the party. That the other candidates, these are people we've known from the go. They will leave the party. Once they win that seat, before you know it, they will defect. They will go. If you just anger them, or if they sense any disagreement, they will leave the party. And parties find ways of protecting whatever seat. You know what it means to win a seat during a general election, only to lose that seat. If you know the agony most political parties face, where somebody will use their platform to win a seat because of one disagreement or the other, the person will just leave or defect. They feel so agonizing, and sometimes they go to the extent of trying to reclaim the seat from the Federal High Court, from their appeal court, from appeal court to Supreme Court. They pay lawyers, they pay SANS to reclaim their seat. Now they will be all out during screening, just like Franklin said. They can screen you out, but when they don't have any reason to screen you out, they will allow you to go into the contest and direct party members. Don't go for this person, go for that person, not through cohesion, because for them it is also part of consensus. Consensus is trying to prevail, trying to convince somebody, don't do this, do this.
Okay.
And it's also a form of democracy.
So what lessons are there for our democracy? Because it's really important that at the center of it all, we preserve democracy.
Yeah.
And when I saw the idea of no videos, you need to show us proof that this was transparent, I was really impressed. So I also remember that we've had similar issues with the Electoral Act, with the argument over real time and non-real time transmission of results. So what do you think are the lessons that are bound from APGA's manner of handling their primaries for the larger Nigerian picture?
For me, whatever you say or you tell the public, go all out and do it.
Okay.
go all out and do it. If you have an internal way of shaping these things, don't say it in the first instance. Don't even say it. Just like I said, Supreme Court has said this issue of nomination is purely internal party affairs, but the parties must follow their rule. Don't violate your rule. Don't violate Electoral Act. And for me, if party says go for this person, nothing wrong with it. Nothing. It is democratic. In as much they don't force you, in as much if you fail to do that, they don't sanction you. But if you do that based on party loyalty, nothing wrong with it. Nothing. It is also part of democracy. And also, the idea of people after winning, you defect to another party, you carry a party's mandate to another party. There should be amendment in our laws to lock it up so that parties will be told, yeah, primaries should be even secret ballot, the one Franklin proposed. The fear is the fear of defection mostly. There could be also other interests. I asked, most times these things are not said in open. They will not communicate these things. I was asking for sure the issue of Anambra South, and I was told that people the party is chopping are those the party can trust that they will not defect. That's when they have it, there will be quarrel. Political family and political parties, they are just the same thing. Parties are like political family, there must be quarrel. Maybe there are times the eldest brother will want to take over the father's property in a way others will not allow or will not agree. Others will protest where they will say no. Before you know it, there could be all manner of tantrums, the exchanges, this and that, but they must find a way to agree. That is political party. There could be times somebody would like to take over, take charge, take what he shouldn't have taken. These things are there in family. But the point is, in every of these, don't leave the family.
So Tony, is it possible that party would have people eat favors? Good and fine.
All right.
Incontestable. Because in politics, because if parties want to sanitize and they want to enforce loyalty, they must find a way to reward loyal party members. Exactly. That is given. But is it possible that parties can still favor some aspirants because they are loyal party members and still provide a level playing field on the day of the primary? Look at what I'm talking about.
I understand your question.
If you look at Anambra South, for instance, Emmanuel Nwachukwu, the incumbent, he was returned. He polled about 27,000 votes to defeat the likes of Patrick Obaji-Aka and then Akaye Gwong. All of them, they're all party members. Yeah. They've been with APGA for a long time. Yeah. But where the issue is that party favors an aspirant.
Yeah.
And party communicates.
Yes.
This is the way we want to go.
Exactly.
And by the time the party releases the names of people who are going to conduct the primary, you will see that the party is in favor of so person because the people in the list are tilted towards that very person. Yeah. But what becomes the irony is that on the day of the election, you see people going there to intimidate supporters of other aspirants. You still see people using security operative to scare people away. Something happened at Amansi. On that same day, you still see materials meant for the primary election, meant for that particular place, not being delivered because they want to frustrate supporters of other aspirants. Right. So does that in any way portray democracy?
Well, for me, look at what happened. The intimidation and all that is not coming from the party, it's coming from the supporters of the aspirants. I will tell you the honest truth. It's coming from the supporters of the aspirants. The supporters of the aspirants could be maybe holding a political office, if not through the party directives. And just like you mentioned a particular case, let's use that very Anambra South, for instance. There was a conclave where it was communicated that the party would want to return Senator Emma Nwachukwu. For obvious reasons. Of course, the party has given that he's one of the most loyal. He doesn't have money. He's not that rich. He started even from being PG and all that. And he has shown loyalty over many years. And the party communicated to other aspirants. Can you support Emma Nwachukwu? Akai was communicated. Obajaka was communicated. Support Senator Omar. Let's have a consensus. These two men felt no. that we need to go to the field. In line with the Electoral Act says once that is proposed, if the aspirants say no, indicated through his chains that it is going to be Senator Emma Nwachukwu. Reason being that he has been the most loyal. And when it comes to money, he is the least. When it comes to riches, he is the least. But the party feels that we want to support him because of his loyalty and capacity, because he has been a PG, he has done something, and they believe he can still do that thing at the Senate, because you must not reward loyalty at the instance or maybe at the expense of Akaye Gwonwu. He's a rich man, I know him. Of course, many of us know, I don't want to promote his brand. The other man, he's also a rich man. There have to be supporters. And the worst is, the person the party wants to favor is not that rich. Though, before he went to the Senate, he is not known to be a rich man. Now, these people have supporters, and their supporters believe that the best way to disrupt party direction is through intimidation, harassment, so that the members of the party will not do what the party has instructed them to do. Because the members of the party at the ward level, if you look at Anambra South, do you know how many wards in Anambra South? And just like I said, these people have come out to fulfill the mandate of the party. But the supporters of the aspirants will not allow them to do that, would like to disrupt them, harass them, that you will not do it this way, that you know, that kind of thing. So the party believes that once we give in direction, it is incumbent on our hierarchies, or maybe, on our lieutenants down the chain to fulfill that. Let me say this, and let me repeat. Party can tell members where we are headed to, but cannot force members to hit to that call. You cannot force them. The moment you force them is no more democracy.
All right.
The moment you say, if you don't do this, we will sanction, is no more democracy. But the moment you propose to them and give them reason, and they follow you based on loyalty, it is still part of democracy.
So these people who have emerged, can we say that they are capacity driven, people of competence? Can we say that all of them are our party or loyal party members? Because there are some of them who have been reported that they were favored. They have moved from one party to the other. Some of them are in APGA today because perhaps PDP is no longer viable.
All right. It is left for the people to decide if they have capacity. There will be general election. These are party primaries. If party brings anybody he thinks that has capacity, the people will decide, not the party again, because it's going to be a general contest. I won't say here that these people have capacity or don't have capacity. The people will decide whether they have capacity or not. But mind you, I have put my ears on the ground and then got to know that parties are shopping for those that will not defect, those that will not for one issue or the other leave the party, and they don't care whether you have the money or you don't have the money, in as much that your loyalty is more than 80%. Once your loyalty is more than 80%, it means that nothing will ever make you defect. And as for APGA, the kind of people they are shopping for, not somebody that will go to, they have lost Abia South, they have lost so many seats to defections, and they vowed we will not support anybody that will use our resources, use our platform, use everything, becomes that only for the person to defect for one reason or the other. They will not allow that. That's what they said, and that's why it seems that they are favoring some candidates. That's what I was told, that's not favoring, that they are shopping for those who will be very loyal, stand with the party through thick and thin. That's what it's told me.
All right, and over the weekend also, President Bola Tinubu emerged the All Progressives Congress APC presidential candidate for the 2027 general elections after securing nearly 11 million votes, according to reports 10.99 million votes in the party's nationwide primary election. The results, according to reports, are drawn from all 36 states, the FCT as well, and the president contested alongside an aspirant, Stanley Osifo. And according to the report, Osifo got 16,504 votes, while Tinubu got 10.99 million votes. Please, let me leave it at that. And Tony, I'd like to know what you think of this.
Well, I saw the figure. The figures look so astonishing. That reminds me of the APC figure during the time of Buhari. They came out and told us that when they were doing party registration, and they put it to us that they have got about 30-something million people who registered for the party. I recall that. And when you look at that figure, I think it was during the time of Adamu, the former governor of Nasarawa State.
Mwasu.
No. Abdullahi
Adamu.
Yes.
Abdullahi Adamu, yeah.
They banded this figure that the party has over 30 million registered voters. I mean, registered members, not voters. 30 million registered members. And I was like, if you have 30 million registered members, it's as good as you have won the general election. Because the maximum figure for anybody who had won presidential election in Nigeria stands at 15 million plus. I don't think if that figure has been exceeded by any other recent election. The maximum, I think that was during the time of Buhari. 15 points. So if you have 30 million, it means you have won the election. There's nothing else to context. But during the election proper, because that election ushered in the candidate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And remember, it was Abdullahi Adamu that spearheaded not just his campaign, but he was the national chairman of APC. But he was quick to remove him because he had favored Ahmed Lawan. But the point I'm trying to make is the 30-something million vote during the general election, we saw President Buhari being declared the winner with how many million votes? Plus or minus, that should be, less than 10 million votes. Yes. I said, how could a party have over 30 million registered members and they cannot deliver their candidate? But that is by the way. So the point I'm trying to make is that these figures banded. It's just like what we saw on video when they were counting. 100, 120, 100. That's kind of counts you hear. We saw those counts. So if they tell us that Mr. President had 10 million plus votes in the primaries, it could be that kind of counting. States we are doing abracadabra. States we are trying to impress President Tinubu. Look at Ebonyi State. How many registered voters are in Ebonyi State to generate that kind of vote for Mr. President? Look at Ebonyi. With least number of registered voters in comparison because of the number of the population of the state, bringing such kind of figure. They were in fact, they were doctoring these figures to impress the president. You think President Tinubu doesn't know those things? He knows that some state governors and the party leaders in this state were putting those figures together to show capacity. It's a way of trying to tell him this is what we can do during the general election. Those figures were not real.
So is it? Can we stop this? This charade we do in this other country in the name of voting. For APC, I don't know how they went about the accreditation before the voting. We saw a video that came out from Abia State. It was a mockery to the entire sensibility of people. Where the speaker, deputy speaker of the House of Reps, we saw him carrying the banner for Mr. President, and we saw how one man did the counting there, and they were all laughing at it as if it was a joke. At the end of the figures were added to the vote that Mr. President scored 10.99 million votes in a country where APC members, as we stand now, there is no verifiable official number. But if we are going to look at what they have banded some time ago, APC claimed that they have about 12 million registered voters nationwide. So if APC has 12 million registered voters and they are counting 10.99 million votes, almost 11 million. So how were they able to make that mobilization that virtually every member of the party was able to turn out? So if this had become this kind of charade we're doing in this very country, can we stop primary election? If parties want to do selection, maybe Nigerians will be able to accommodate this and be able to
we accept it for what it is
than when they make mockery of the entire process.
There's another thing I'm even thinking of proposing in our general election, but I'm going to talk about that one. But you talk about can we
you know what 10.99 million people
but then remember represent? The president won general election according to INEC figures with 8.7 million.
The entire Nigeria voted.
The entire Nigeria voted. the president won, according to INEC declaration, 8.7 million votes.
How many active electorates do we have for them to pull up this kind of one party?
And now they are banding 10.9 million votes for APC members alone. It's just a charade, as you said. I've listened to that. But just like I told you, they were trying to impress. They were trying to tell the president, this is what we can do. Even the president himself knows that the numbers are not real. He knows. Because he would ask one question: what was my INEC score during the general election, where every Nigerian voted? Or not every Nigerian, most Nigerians, or those who voted. Let's put it this way, because not everybody, there are registered voters that did not participate. For those who participated in that election, I think participation ratio, I think less than 25% or thereabouts. Why it is so is because many don't turn up. Now, the APC members, according to figures from different states, have said what they said. I think what I'm trying to propose is this, because other countries do that. Even Mr. President won that election with 36.61% of the total valid vote cast. Not even up to 40%. Not even up to 50%. There are countries that would say, if you don't reach outright 50, you go into runoff. There are countries, most countries do have that. That they would want you to be a president of all. That you must score at least 50% of total valid vote cast. If that be the case, if you couldn't get that, the two persons that came first and second, not up to 50%, will go into runoff. And in that runoff, it is going to be between them. Whatever comes out, it becomes the outright result. There are many countries that do that, but we don't do that. What we do is outright majority, but you must have a spread of 2/3, that is 25% in how many states? In about 20 states or there. So the point I'm trying to make is, every country will look in and see what gives them credibility, especially during the electioneering season. The kind of, recruitment is the most important aspect of either governance or execution. Recruitment. The person you recruit determines how the work will be done or not. There are companies, if you want to be recruited, they don't joke with their recruitment process, because once they make mistake at that level, it will mar the company's future. That's why they don't want to make mistakes. And that's one thing I want Nigeria to do. Don't make mistakes during recruitment process, and we must tighten up everything. You have made certain proposal, which for me is okay. And we can also look at this proposal where you must score 50% of total valid vote cast. If you can't meet up that, you go into runoff. Anything can happen in the one, and we are the president. I've said it many times, will not be the one appointing so many umpires. If look at all the commissioners INEC has about 12 commissioners or thereabouts. Mr. President appointed each and every one of them. Appoint the chairman. Appoint, even give them funds, give them money. Delays or even releases funds to them. If he does that, the level is not, the ground is not level. The level is not even level.
Tony, I'm just worrying about the height of abracadabra we now have in a political system.
Yeah.
And I'm asking myself, why has it gotten to this very level? Is it that politicians have taken Nigerians for granted, knowing that they would do nothing? Is it Nigerians are helpless? They cannot help situation? Is it that we have resigned to faith that whatever that comes from these very parties and politicians, of course, they are going to be shoved down our throats, and then we'll go by it? Is there anything people can do to engineer any kind of change whereby politicians will see that it's no longer business as usual? Because if not the case, I'm just wondering where people could go to the field knowing the cameras are before them, and they will count 1, 2, 3, 1,000, 1,001, 2,000, like, and everybody's laughing about it.
They are laughing.
Do you understand? We just joke about it, and then the figures are entered in an official document and declared.
Oh well, it's really sad that
if you ask me, are there things we can do? Definitely there are things we can do. why these things are the way they are, because no one pays attention to the happenings.
No, when you mean no one, do you mean the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and empowers parties to have their primaries?
Both the party, both the people, both the counter, just like Franklin said. Watch most of the videos. Why they were doing the counting, those being counted, we are laughing. The person filming, laughing. Everybody laughing. Yes.
And so primaries are pretty much a joke.
That's what it is. Everyone, we are laughing about it. They will be shouting 31, 39, 51. Somebody, they will count the person 3 times. And the person will be laughing.
So what difference does it make at the end of the day, Tony? Because these parties have accepted these figures and flown with them.
It's a sign that we are very unserious in this country.
What difference does it make at the end of the day? I mean, this unseriousness is certified, right? Now, at the center of it all is that the party has accepted it, giving us a figure and all of that. Is there any implication?
Well, of course, there's no implication. No implication. Because it's their internal affairs. If you think the rules were violated by maybe the way they counted it, if they subtract that very one, what about others?
All right.
That's the problem. If you subtract that one, because one side where you vetoed, where it was counted wrong, cannot invalidate the entire process. Much that could be done will be deduction of that one, and you count the rest that you couldn't veto. I have said it many times. We must get a stricter ways of doing this. Somebody said the other time that, Tony, if you make all these things, parties in Nigeria will find a way to undermine the process. We can find a way to make it difficult for them to undermine the process. Of course, I've got so many of these proposals that it will be difficult. You know why? Where it will be stipulated that a party seen to have in any way undermined its primaries, either by counting, that party is disqualified. If you bring this issue of disqualification, it becomes a matter of law. And where every primary, there must be camera. You know, we do things without camera.
Do you really think that the beneficiaries who are also making the laws are going to accept
Let me
that?
finish it. And it will not be in the hands of INEC. We can set up independent panel that monitors party primaries, and these independent panels, we are members of political parties, will be part of that member, because I will be to be against a party, even when it is also likelihood that it's also likely I could be bought. But parties will be asked to bring in somebody that would form panels of other party primaries. They will go and bring the most loyal, somebody that cannot be bought over, because they know those people within their ranks. They will bring those people, they will forward those people to be in charge of other political. So the person will be out there to pinpoint errors that could help to disqualify the party. The way it's been done in football, there are things we can put in place where you will be the one watching me, I'll be the one watching you, and where we have one thing or the other in common. We have a way to make sure that nobody lose guard.
Now, if I don't know, I feel so bad about this whole primary. I must confess, because you think about the big parties, so-called big parties. You have this thing thriving in those parties. Then you now make reference to the so-called small parties and the ones not as big as these very ones. Because I saw what happened in Albert City yesterday, where African Action Congress, the AAC of Showere, where they tried to have primary election in Abia State. And guess what? Your friend Chisom, Doris Ogala, she came there with some thoughts.
Excuse you.
You know, she came there with some thugs.
Oh, I never knew the woman went into politics.
To disrupt primary election. I was asking myself, when did she join a party? To the point that I was looking at the members of the party who were at that very event. It was just a pocket, just a handful of persons.
Who dash monkey banana?
Yet we were seeing this kind of brigandage. I keep on wondering, where are we headed with this democracy? Are we actually pressing democracy?
And is this really how she wants to enter politics? If she was even into politics?
The thing is, definitely, let me put this thing.
It's a big shame.
There's no way in the world you have a perfect democracy. We don't have a perfect democracy anywhere in the world. Let's admit that. But what we are saying is that let it be that we at least achieve 60, 70, 80% perfection. This issue of disruption.
Are we really looking for perfection, Tony? Are we looking to do the right thing?
No,
can we do the right thing?
It's part of the thing we are saying. In human society, probably you have to go back to the book written by George Orwell, Animal Farm. In any human society, There will be a time somebody will want to outwit the other person. There will never be a time everybody will want to play by the rule. Never. That is human nature. Never. Is well depicted in that very book, Animal Farm by George. Oh, so the point I'm trying to make is the idea of law and rules are things put in place to checkmate people trying to outwit or authorities trying to undo, undermine. These things are there.
So what do we do, Tony? Look at my point.
Okay.
We have Electoral Act that defines or guides how our politics is run.
Yeah.
We have the 1999 Constitution.
Yes.
Some part of it also defines it. We have parties also have their constitution that guides everything.
Right.
These are all laws. They're all there.
Yeah.
Yet,
you have laws without punishments. Any law that has no is attendant punishment, well stated out how it will be executed, is
so if we say that there is something wrong with our brand of politics and our brand of politicians, is that the basis we can start from?
I think you can start by disqualifying candidates and political parties from. I don't see any in all of these are laws. Where is it stated that where a party, violate this rule, violate that rule, that party is disqualified? You don't have them. And apart from that, how many of electoral offenders have we seen prosecuted? Electoral Act 2026 is not biting. It's just there. It's just there. The ones that parties try to follow are the ones that if you don't do it, INEC will not do this for you. These are the ones they pay attention to. Outside that one, they don't pay attention to everyone. If it comes to issue of spending, it's there in the law. You cannot spend beyond this. Who monitors it? Who executes it? Who disqualifies? There is no. In fact, let me put it this way: there are not many disqualifications rule in that very law.
As I'm talking to you now, you can see result being banded.
Which one?
I say, how can we conduct?
Which party?
No, this is for APGA. So how can we conduct primary election with option A4? Please queue behind your aspirant.
Yes.
Agwa and Gocha, and we're having different results.
Because
I don't know where we're going to run again.
Do you know why it's so? Is because no punishment.
So
no punishment.
So where do we run to if Niheme na kolokoli igwe mother
can
still be contested like this way?
Frankly, one thing that you don't know is this: everyone does not think the way you think.
No, it's not not knowing or not thinking. What I'm thinking about is this: we have done the open secret. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And because it's not open to everybody, people say, okay, it was subject to manipulation. Now we are now doing what is open to Mr. A, Mr. B,
and we openly manipulate it. And how shameless are we that we openly do manipulations
Let me say, when you say we are going to opt for option A4, what are the guidelines in the Electoral Act that must be followed if party decides that it's going to be consensus? And what are the punishments in the Electoral Act where if party violates this very process that it will attract the disqualification? We don't have things like that.
All right, Tony.
So that's why everybody can decide to do it the way he wants and laugh over it. It was a joke.
ADC primaries are expected to hold today, Tony. And what are your speculations? How do you see it panning out?
It's going to be the same thing we have seen so far. In fact, no party is immune. They are doing the same thing. I have said it many times. You can have a system that does not monitor how things are done, regulate it to ensure that things are done properly. Let me put this thing. I've said it many times. I'm going to cite it again. In United States of America, for instance, where we copied this model of democracy from, during campaigns and party spendings, parties don't spend. Candidates don't spend. There is an independent body where every donation goes to. They spend on your behalf. The idea of spending on your behalf, because they know that if they give you the money, you will outspend. You will try to undo. You will try to outwit. They say that money can come to you. And those who are bringing the money, they have limits of, if you're an individual, there is a cap. If you're a corporate body, there is a cap. If you're this, there is a cap. And when you bring this money, because the money is not going to be given to you, there will be fact checking and then maybe probations. The idea is you don't have to spend anything. Let it be that it's all about money.
All right then, Tony.
They have these things working for them because there is punishment. Situations where you are disqualified. And politicians fear one thing more. They fear disqualification. But what we have in our electoral act is fine. 500,000, 100,000, 1 million. When you have that kind of law, what do you expect? Fine of 1 million.
It is sad.
Fine of 500,000.
It is sad.
Nobody's talking about disqualification. In all these areas, you have fine of this. You replace them with disqualification. You will see them. They will have this thought that the game has changed.
Okay, quickly, let's take a look at what happened yesterday, Sunday. A gunman killed 3 worshippers and abducted at least 15 others during a night prayer session at a mosque in Kwara State. According to reports, it occurred in the early hours of Saturday at the Ilesha Baruba area of Baruten local government area, a border community near the Benin Republic. Residents said the attacker stormed the mosque while worshippers were observing the Tahajjud prayers and opened fire before taking several people away into the forest. And Tony, let's not forget that Children's Day is just less than 48 hours away. But those children who were taken from a school in Oyo State, 45 people, some of them allegedly being under 2 years old. I understand there is a child who's just 1 year and 5 months still in captivity. What are we doing?
Well, there was this instruction from Oyo State government that says, 1, no more excursion, inter-house sports, any activity at all. Any activity that relates with children is suspended because of insecurity in that very state. The same is, I don't know if it is so in the Kwara State, because Kwara and Oyo, they have so many things in common. Remember the very day I was talking about Afonja story, the story of Afonja in the late 18th century, and then also the laughing of Oyo, how the Fulanis came and conquered Oyo, the Alami and the Afonja and the laughing. I narrated this story here, and that's why to date you find out that the Emir of Kwara is aligned to Sokoto Caliphate. It happened in the past. These things are history. They are there. But we know very well that they have been living before now in harmony, but things have changed. The point I'm trying to make here is this. There is insecurity, and I would also advise states around that area to cease forthwith any form of children activities. Yes, we're going to have Children's Day in next 2 days, but you don't expect any form of open activity because of insecurity in that very state. You don't expect that. The point remains that you must find a way to protect the vulnerables, and it is the duty of government to ensure the protection of vulnerables, the weak, the downtrodden, the people. And it could be one of the ways. Or your state has announced no open display of anything that relate to children. I expect that to be so in Kwara State, because there is spate of insecurity. The last we discussed it, I did say Oyo State is a very big state. Oyo is equivalent to entire southeast, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, Abia, Ebonyi put together. These 5 states will give you approximately about 29,000 kilometers, square kilometers. Oyo alone is 28,000 plus square kilometers. It's very close, approximately. That to tell you how big the state is. And it's the most biggest state in its entire southern part of the country. It has thick forests everywhere. Kwara is also big. But that does not mean that we cannot secure these spaces. There are many ungoverned spaces in this state, and Motakun have come short. Even the forest guards in Oyo State, they have forest guard. They have also come short. We also seen those in Kwara State have also come short because they go with dead gun. But the people they are fighting comes with sophisticated weapons, general purpose machine gun, grenades, and explosives. How then do you go and approach these people with them gun? And you see police, you see military, they have also come short in those states for many reasons. That's why the state must be empowered to fight this criminality through state police, through local government police, through town police. Because if they have the same kind of gun the attackers have, they will be able to clear them. And this, for me, a way to ensure security in those spaces. This has started, and we will not see it abating anytime. There must be a concrete measure. I know why we have not had state police because of this election. probably the president wants to secure a second term and probably gets into that. He has promised that every document seems to have been finalized. But politics is what is holding it back. But we can't just because of politics keep dying. Look at people who have been kidnapped. Very annoying.
It is really sad.
Children, 5 years, 4 years. What have they done?
It's really sad that political parties even went on to have their primaries with what happened last week. Those children were in captivity. One of the teachers abducted with them was beheaded, and pictures of it and videos of it made it to social media. But just hours later, we go on to primaries, we go on to seeking elections into offices that we...
I really like to say, Jackie Pay, they help persons save towards upcoming bills, small. You know, now I go to come out the money small. Like say they do a job for Jackie Pay. So when payment time reach, you no go just panic. The money don't gather, you go pay them. Honestly, it they help person organize money better. So whether you be student, you be parent, you be business owner, or you be person with just one peace of mind, Jackie Pay, not the plug. It's simple, fast, and reliable. To download, simply type Jackie Pay, JAKIPAY on Play Store or your iOS App Store. Download Jackie Pay today and make payments without stress. Jackie Pay, life is easier, bills are smarter.
Attention schools, attention young champions. This Children's Day, it's time to think fast, speak boldly, and shine brightly. Udala Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha presents Children's Day Debate 2026. With the theme, Phones in Young Hands, Freedom or Risk. What's the right age for kids to use phone? Date, Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. Time, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Live on Udala Radio. Open to primary 4 to 6 students across Anambra State. 12 schools, 6 exciting rounds, and only 3 champions. This is your chance to showcase brilliance, confidence, teamwork, and public speaking skills live before a wide audience. The event will be streamed live on Udala Radio and judged by an impartial team of professionals. Registration fee is 20,000 naira per school. Amazing prize gifts await the top 3 schools, plus other consolation gifts, items, and recognition for schools being represented. For more enquiries and registration, please call 0707 329 1750 or 0703 611 1998. Let's raise a generation that debates, decides, and drives change.
When election reach, everybody go talk. Plenty promises everywhere. But when time to vote come, some people no go show. Later, everybody go come dey complain. No sit down. When the time reach, go vote. Make your choice for count.
104.7 Udala Radio.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Alright, get involved. Put a call across to 0803-221-6973, 0803-827-6694. And please, the numbers that we have in our Children's Day event are not for the studio. Okay, stop texting the numbers and stop calling the numbers. They are not for the studio. If you want to join a show live on radio, the numbers to call are 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Shisum. Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, welcome.
My name is George, calling from Asava.
Go ahead, George.
Mr. Speaker, I will say that disagree on the aspect of that democracy based on the kind of primary that we are seeing in this cycle of this election. I totally disagree because that is not democracy. Because if we say that everybody should go and stand, why going in the back and be trying to convince people, intimidating people, forcing people down to their throat to step down? That's not democracy. Let us not turn this upside down. It's not democracy in anywhere. Intimidating people. Anything that you make me to do against my wish, you are pushing on my fundamental human rights.
Hello.
And that is what every political party is doing.
George, if you are listening to me, I said aspirant supporters are the ones causing the trouble, trying to share
No.
the...
I disagree, Mr. Speaker.
Hold on.
Let me tell you, no. We are witness.
Party does not recruit. Let me state this thing. There are people that are emotional about this. Aspirants are the one recruiting talks to disrupt election. Even during INEC does not bring talks during election. INEC does not. Those who bring talks are candidates, aspirants. Let's be real now.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now, it's very disheartening for this kind of primary election we are seeing in this part of country. A country or a party that we ask people to go and purchase your form, consult, do everything you're supposed to do with your own personal money, and the parties already have a candidate at the mind, and they will ask you to do everything. After doing it, at the 11th hour, they will ask you to withdraw. Please, my question is, are they going to pay back all the expenses that man has done, or they will just allow that man to go? Is it now in 419 in the highest level? Why are we doing this to ourselves? I'm seeing this kind of politics as Nigeria is going down every day. Buhari has been a saint. Buhari said we are going to miss them, and we are still missing it. We are missing this man. Because this kind of politics we are playing, think of next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years coming. What kind of election are we going to be doing with this kind of thing now? That we see everything, and they will change it automatically to suit what they want to do. And they have made everything in order to... Tinubu is going for third tenor. No, what that is saying about second tenor is just making a mistake. We are talking about the third tenor. Because he has already made the ground. The ground is already alert for him. For third tenor, what is going on in Nigeria is disheartening. It's very bad. Thank you.
All right then. Good morning. Hello. All right, try to reconnect 0803-221-6973, 0803-827-6669 for good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Franklin Ebuka and Chief Dr. Tony Orisambeki.
You're welcome.
My name is Ogochukwu from Udi, Enugu State. What I want to dwell on presidential APC primary. This is a game. The reason why APC bring out this figure, 10.something million. 2027, by the time they are finished rigging the election, they will use this figure to justify as they have the capacity that Mr. President garnered 10.something million during the primary. This is a game. I want to talk about what happened in APGA. That is the reason why I am against anything called state police. Can you see the way Amwana they use Ebubago to intimidate?
You mean Agune Chamber?
Did you see it?
Do you mean Agune Chamber?
Hello?
Agune Chamber, not Ebubago. Let's at least get that
sorry,
right.
my sister, Agune Chamber, mean to say sorry. Agune Chamber, no problem. But I assure them that 2027, NDC is going to teach them a lesson in Anambra State. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Yes, good morning.
My name is Comrade Wilson and calling from Manchester. Can I go on?
Yes, please.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Just like the last speaker said, you see all these figures, they are banding, 10.9 million votes. That is the format they will use to reach the 2027 general election. They will add it like extra 2 million, and it will be around 12.something million. And when you say, they will tell you, oh, didn't you see our primary election? Didn't you see the number of votes Mr. President got? If only INEC is independent, they could have given us the total.
Hello?
Hello?
Go ahead.
If only INEC is independent, they would have given us the total number registered voters of every political party. And we can work with that. But no, INEC is not independent. They're down to the whims and caprices of the ruling party. So this is what we are going to expect in 2027. Good morning.
0803-221-6973. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Mr. Frank, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Mario calling from Well, to me, the people that
write that result. In fact, they don't give us the true result. That 10 million something votes. That's vote supposed to be that 20 million votes. You're after. So I'm doubting that particular 10 million. It is impossible. So let the person that write that particular vote to go and give us the actual vote, because I cannot believe that Mr. President has that kind of vote in Nigeria. No. It's about 35 million plus. That is what Mr. President has. That is why I will still tell you that you see the appointment of Joash Amobata is a very big problem you're going to have on 2027 election. Because as long as I'm concerned, that man is a member of APC and he is there on a mission. Just the way they write this result now, that is what we will see on 2027. People are telling us, go and get your voter's card. That is how you will vote much. It will be hard to read. It's a lie. Whatever they want to write, they will write it here. And tell you, go to court. And the court will use technicalities to deal with you. So to me, that result is so poor. So poor. They should go and rewrite it. Mr. Speaker, that is where I want to leave this here. But there is something you said. I want to react. Only that there will be no time. Let me just drop maybe others will call. Thank you.
08032216973. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Susan.
Go ahead.
Dr. Tony Olisam Bessie. Be the one of us.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
In fact, I have 90% love for you since I started listening to this, both when you are there at Odenibo and the one of Newi. The way you say things, but I am disappointed this time around. The way you are analyzing about APGA, I know you are somebody that can say the truth. I was expecting you to condemn what happened last weekend. But because of your too intelligent and super, there's a way you are saying it. Let's call a spade a spade. I have my regard, I have my love to you. Please, do the way you are doing before that made me to pour that 99% love in you. God bless you.
Let me quickly react to you, please, because I have to react immediately. You called in, I had thought that you would make a point. You ended up making no point. Your argument was all about me. And I said I will not say things the way it will please you. I think I do say this every morning before I begin, that the things I will say may not please you. And I have said, and I stand to be contradicted. We saw the primaries. Nobody is praising the primary. I never praise any primary. And I said what happened, that I asked questions and I was told that the party favors some people. Was that not the truth? Was that not the case? Was that not the truth? And I was also told that aspirants came in with talks. Was that not the case? And I was also told that their figures were banded. Was that not the case? What else do you want me to tell you so that it will please you? I don't need to please you. And for me, I don't think of anything love. I don't do love. Nobody should love me. You just look at me, and if I say anything, fact check me than to love me.
Good morning. Are you there? Hello? Hello there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Chidi Chukuma, joining you from Bo. Yes, talking of the primaries in APC, it has come and gone. And the figure there is alarming. How can they come up with such figure? Almost 11 million. The last election, what did they score to become the president? Only the party faithful and not all Nigerians making up such number of the people. That is a very big plan to manipulate the forthcoming election. It is now clear the direction that they are going. And for the primaries and different political parties, that arrangement, Dr. Tony Zabiki, yes, I must thank you for that very clear explanation. It's not all about the emotion and sentiment for the people that are calling. I learned a whole lot of lessons from there because I wonder, it's supposed to be to remove those unwanted people there, those screening. But you it cannot work. That the explanation of Tony is that if we fail to agree with the party, then you come up for the actual election, primary election. But there, the same arrangement, the party will stay prevail. That is simple way of explaining this thing to the people, and I'm satisfied with that explanation because that is a party's arrangement. It's not an issue of court or any other thing. That is for the party to decide what they do within the arrangement. Even if you go to the secret, the same thing self-prevail. Therefore, we don't have to make any case about that. If anybody is dissatisfied, then you can go to court. That is the only way out of it. Let me stop. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Let's take a few more calls. 102, head over to Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
It's a wonderful morning to something to Franklin Antonio Stambeki. Start with the Kevin from UK this morning. Well, let me just go straight to the point here. I think INEC told us that they have in their website they have over 80 million people that have registered or been part of the online whatever they call it. People shouldn't be confused. This is just a primary election. Okay, that concerns APC. If you can go by the statistics of INEC, over 8 million people who have enrolled in, APC just got 10.99 million from the governors. And I'm ashamed of most governors in Nigeria. You can't fix your road, you can't do infrastructure, all you could do is roll out billions of naira for the return of an incompetent administration. I don't just want to go further. What I want to say is that most of these governors, they are not helping Nigerians. Look at the level of insecurity. We are lacking teachers in the school, and one of the teachers was beheaded. Are you encouraging people to go into teaching? Just like the army is begging people to come into the military? The teachers will also begin to beg people to come and enroll, become a teacher. So that's where we are going. And people are bragging about a primary election. All I will say to Nigerians is this: get your PVC. This is not business as usual. A lot of people is interested in this election. It's not gonna be. I think I overheard one of us saying that power of incumbency and this and that. Let me tell you the truth. Jonathan was there as the president. He was busted out. Similar thing is going to happen because Nigeria is in pain. Nigeria is in misery. Nigeria cannot be fixed by this very administration. Look at countries you have traveled to. What have you attracted to Nigeria here? Donald Trump just went to China, got a deal of billions of dollars coming to America. So it's so shameful that most of our governors and politicians, but we know why they are backing the administration just to cover up their corruption. Because if a different government comes into power, bet you me, most of these politicians and elite will end up in the prison. Let me just hang up here because I think what happened over the weekend, nobody should celebrate it because...
Thank you very much. And last call, let me head over to Facebook. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my chief speaker.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Let me start by saying that this primaries of political parties is just jamboree or play. For example, I went for an APGA primary at Tuke Memorial Primary School. You can't believe it that we stayed there up to, they told us that 9 o'clock accreditation starts, but we stayed there up to after 1 to 2. The information we got, nothing was moving. The INEC officials came around to 1 or something like that. The news just arrived that the governor have endorsed Udala. Then one man from Polity for House of Assembly. And people were very, very angry about that. But to crown it off, above all, when we were waiting for they said all of us will go out that we use our voter's card. More time, people came with motorcycle, more than 15 to 20 men carrying another people of the population. To cut it short, they started saying that if not Obosi person, no election. Not Obosi person, no election. You see, a kind of thing like that. When I saw that that kind of thing is about happening, so I just left it. Even on Monday, on Tuesday, to be precise, I went to witness this ADC primary at the cooperative, that police station cooperative at that small market. The same thing happened. The INEC people didn't come up to after. Yeah. So you see everything that is happening until Nigeria gets serious. I know the amount of money that they are being budgeted for election. All these things we don't have to talk in the election. Look at Tinubu, APC telling us he got Tinubu get 10 point something million, approximately 11 million. Where did they get that figure? So you can see that the only thing we do in this country is now to come out and start criticizing, even protesting about the people that are leading us. They are not doing well. You can see now 2027, this thing, they mark the election. We continue where we start. People suffering.
Thank you. Time is up. Thank you very much. Let's head over to Facebook.
Okay, so from our Facebook page, Capiro International is talking about the experience of Rangers International. I mean Lagos. That very much between Rangers and Ikorodu United. But I saw videos of how Rangers boss was being pelted, but for now they are champions. So Eke Gunas Madueke says President made major signings during the transfer window. He signed up to 32 governors, and now they are giving him the results already from the primaries. Paul Anirobi says that is the replica of what we are going to expect in 2027 general elections from the ruling party. But in all these, if the people stand tall, it will be difficult for the ruling party to get away with their plans. It is the Nigerian masses versus the APC government come 2027. It's therefore left for the people who are supposedly the kings to truly live up to that expectation without chuckling out. Then Paul Onyekachuku says he posted from Onitsha. Okay, thank you for following us. Then Ajomiwe Kelechi says, obviously, our democratic processes have been eroded by selfish politicians. And he says, definitely, Atiku Abubakar will win the ADC presidential primary. Secondly, political parties on democratic process of party primaries may divide many parties beyond reconciliation. Okay, he says, our problem is not democracy, but its application in Nigeria. Gochuku Ndeli is watching from Adazinuku. Thank you for joining, Gochuku. Then Chisco from Ogidi says, it's a shame that nothing tangible has been done regarding the abduction of school children and teachers in Oyo State. But if it had been what to do with the IPOB or ESN by now, soldiers would have been deployed to that state. And CJ from Delta State says the truth of the matter is that we are not highly mature to be independent state. That is why all this animosity is playing out in party primaries. A stomach infrastructure has a way of taking control, asking people to do otherwise. They can't tell me that they don't know how to count numbers. Capiro International says APC primary election is a sign that APC will manipulate 2027 election. Look at the way they were counting numbers. Young Goponwa says we should know very well the law of karma exists. What the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam El-Rufai, did in Abuja for many years ago is now recycling. And he says the current FCT minister should learn a lesson from that. He posted from Benue State. This one is from Zakwaseles, and he says, I'm not against Tinubu winning the presidential primary election. It's up to him, but I have a question for him. If it were to be his son, Sheyi Tinubu, that is in the kidnappers hide that, like those or your school pupils abducted by bandits last 2 weeks, would Mr. President be jubilating for victory? This is rather shameful. come to think of it, Mr. President has not even made any official press statement on this. On this. Well, yes, if you're talking about statement, of course, they have issued a statement from the presidency, unless if you're talking about the one he personally signed. Then, Oluchi Chima says, I see no difference in APC and the APGA primary elections. I was there. I saw things by myself. This is not how to get things right in this country. What APGA did on Saturday was not primary election, but primary elections. Everything there appeared fraudulent. Basil Ugu said, my simple question is this. If a party already knows who it wants, why collect forms, conduct screening, and allow people to spend money and mobilize supporters? Politics should not give people hope only to disappoint them at the last minute. If consensus is the plan, let people know early. Democracy works better when the process is transparent and fair. And the Aloysius Odili says, I saw the result from APC presidential primary election. Now the question is, during 2023 general election, President Tinubu got a total of 8,794,724 votes to be declared elected, but only primary election, which is limited to party members, he got 10 million plus votes. So APC is indirectly telling us that they have more members than all Nigerians put together, or what? Okay, so he says, I continue to doubt the possibility of free and fair election in 2027. He posted from Umoba. Now, maybe we take the last one here because plenty of them and we don't have much time. This one is from Jeku Bishop. He says, Tinubu winning the primary election with over 10 million votes is a sign of their plan for 2027. They will construct, or rather, they will concoct a result for him winning with over 15 million votes. If you challenge that, you'll be reminded that only party members were able to produce 10 million votes in total. He posted from Akragana. And the other person who posted, Christopher from Nsubwe, Dasco Furniture, Norbert Okoye, Emmanuel Chiade, Paul Nairobi, Ikechi Okereke, Mastobe, Obibeke, and host of others. Thank you for all your comments. We're out of time, so we have to end it here.
All right, now, gentlemen, your final words, please. Start with you, Tony.
Of course, I was reading the statement coming from Ifeanyi Chukwuibezim, Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuibezim, where he was also aligning his support to the party, saying party is supreme, but that's just for their parties, But the point is this, just like I've always said, most times let us listen to learn as against our individual bias. We must show balance in our analysis. I've always said it here. Fact check everything I say, not with emotion, but with facts. That's what I want you to do for me. And my own is to state out the things the way they are. If I ask questions, if I see anything, if anybody calls me, I display those things. Unless you tell me, please don't display, put it in, in confidence. Let it be confidential. Why not? So the thing is, primaries, we are going to witness NDC primaries. It's going to also be part of what we have seen so far. Because as we speak now, NDC has also signaled that there are those they will favor. Yes, there are those they will favor. But then for those who may be coming for, it's going to be the same thing until we get the right piece of law of punishment. Situations where if you don't follow this rule, there will be independent panel comprising different political parties that will signal that this party should be disqualified. And when you're pointing to my party to be disqualified, I would also look for something to point to your party to be disqualified. In that way, all of us will sit up. But what we have currently is not something that can take us anywhere.
All right, then, Franklin, quickly, let's go.
Okay, I'm short of words because if APC could conduct primaries for Senate position on Monday, and by Thursday last week, the result was not out. Primary using direct system. It took like 5 days. Result didn't come out, even up to now. So results are not out. Then APGA had their own on Saturday. Up to now, it's still the same story.
Some results are not out too.
So, buddy.
All right, then the Polity is going to make a return tomorrow, 9:15 down to 11 a.m. please. And our Children's Day activity, that's our on-air debate, is coming on Wednesday. I mean, I don't know. I am a bit somehow shaky about this entire thing, remembering that those children are still in captivity. We're hoping that the Nigerian government, your state government, gets to do something about that, so we can actually celebrate children and not be afraid that some children were still being killed in bushes. I'll see you at 12:25 on the Cherry Box. Right after this 1 hour break of exciting music coming your way. And of course, we'd get to also tell you what's up with the news at 12 o'clock. I am Chisom Chinedu. Good morning.
Udala Radio 104.7